Beef pots. Today we're making blackened mahi, and it's showtime.
63 years of serving up surf and turf in Chincoteague. That is a legacy that only Bill's Prime Seafood and Steak can claim. And guess what? Guess who's with us in the Delmarva Life kitchen today? Co-owner Steve Potts.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So we got a little bit of surf and turf here, don't we?
Yes. I couldn't decide what to make, so I thought, well, let's just do both.
Yes. I like that idea.
Yeah, do it all. So yeah, we're actually the oldest running restaurant on Chincoteague.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I wasn't the original owner, so it's not quite that old for me.
But you still have the legacy in your hands.
Yes,
there you go.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start with, you're going to show us how to cook a perfect steak.
Yeah, summertime's coming. A lot of people cooking steaks on the grill. There's 5 tips to cooking a really great steak. Number 1 is to buy a really good steak.
Sure.
Ribeye is certainly one of the most flavorful. The second thing is to take it out of the fridge, 30 minutes, let it sit at room temperature before you cook it. Then you're going to season it heavily with salt and pepper on both sides and sear it off. Once you've seared it, you want it to rest for about 10 minutes, and then always slice it against the grain.
Okay.
So, and we're going to do some mushrooms for you as well. I'll get the steak started.
Okay,
Nice
so we're going to
hot
get ready
pan.
to sear a steak.
Oh, it is hot.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
that.
I'm going to
And you've got it right there.
season
And
this with some
I've
salt
always heard that
heavily.
you want to have a little bit of marbling in it with the fat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. One of my favorite steaks is a dry aged steak.
A dry aged steak.
And this is a prime cut of cowboy ribeye. We call it a saltwater cowboy ribeye. Came from
Saltwater
Chincoteague.
cowboy ribeye. I like
I'm just going to
that.
put a little weight on this with the lid and let that sear.
Okay.
While we're doing that,
You were serious about seasoning heavily, aren't you?
oh yeah, it's a thick piece of meat.
Yeah.
I'm going to saute some mushrooms, which Jimmy has cut up for me here.
Yeah.
He's done a great job.
Oh, good job,
Now
Jimmy.
you know he's lying.
But he didn't slice them. He only cut them up. Why
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. A lot of people slice their mushrooms, and if you slice them, you saute them, they tend to get a little mushy and a little limp. If you quarter them and put them in a little oil, salt, and pepper, saute them, they'll have a nice bite to them. So they'll actually have a lot more flavor, and they'll hold the juice of the mushroom too.
I have never heard
Quarter
that.
instead of slice.
So,
Okay.
and usually sear it 10 to 15 minutes to be medium rare, and then go on from there however you like it. I'll tell you, truthfully, I always try to poke the steak, make sure it's done inside. There's no perfect way sometimes. But and then if you see really high heat, you'll get that sear.
Wow. Okay.
Which will sear in those juices.
That really looks good.
And
Your
does the
mushrooms
bone help it heat up faster?
The bone actually is where the flavor is. Any kind of meat you buy with the bone in always has more flavor. It tends, I guess, the marrow from the bone somehow seasons the steak. A lot of places are doing bone marrow as an appetizer kind of thing. So it really does have a lot more flavor.
Interesting.
So once we've seared this thing, then we're going to place it. Basically, I've got one done here, but
Yeah.
going to do this is our saltwater cowboy ribeye with a cowboy butter. This is a little bit of garlic and some red pepper and things.
So what
which,
is in the cowboy butter?
There's butter, a little margarine. You have to mix the butter and margarine together to get it to soften enough.
Oh, okay.
Some garlic. We have a little bit of roasted red pepper, and that's it.
Oh, that looks very, very nice.
So you can see, just want to keep that heat, want to get that nice crust on it, and then be ready to serve.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Well, that's the turf. We got the turf out of the way, but we still
Absolutely.
have some surf to do.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So we're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to do some, what is it, blackened mahi?
Blackened mahi with a fresh pineapple salsa. Just in time for summer.
Stick around. We'll be right back. Take a look at that. That is a juicy ribeye that we just cooked moments ago in the Delmarva Life kitchen. And we are back with Bill's Prime Seafood and Steak.
And this is down here on my end, so I guess I'm going to go
Well,
ahead.
you don't think I can just come over here and, I'm sorry, Steve.
You're fine.
Dude, you could have helped me out there a little, Steve.
Yeah, well,
Done something that would have.
he cut some big pieces too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, which means we have to eat it all.
There's that one if you want that one. I'm going to take that one.
Okay, you take that one.
So this is considered rare, right?
Yeah, that would be rare. The cowboy butter just kind of adds that little bit of
It really does.
velvety texture to it.
And I expected, when you seasoned it so heavily at first, I thought, oh my goodness. And that blends in so well.
Yeah, you need to make that crust on it, and especially with a thick piece of meat, it'll work itself out.
Excellent.
Now we're moving on to the surf portion of our surf and turf, and you've got some mahi you're gonna
Sure do.
blacken.
I'm going to start off with it's about an 8-ounce fillet of mahi with the skin off. What we normally do is we're just going to take some Cajun season. You can make your own, or just any good store-bought brand is fantastic. So
We're trying to keep the seasoning from Jimmy.
yes, between that and the pollen,
Yeah.
maybe do a pollen crusted mahi.
I'm so sorry.
All right, and then you want to get your pan nice and hot.
Oh, and that is hot.
And once it's good and hot, we're going to put it flesh side down with the season, and we're just going to let that sear, and just a little more oil, I think, until it gets a nice crust on it. Let it char. You can tell around the edges when it starts to get a little crust to it, and it's time to flip. And then we have a fresh pineapple salsa, and this is where you come in, Jimmy, with your skills.
I have to work after all.
Mixing. So what we have here, there's some fresh cilantro, green pepper, red bell pepper, chopped jalapeno, and you can leave the seeds in or out depending on how hot you want it. A little chopped red onion, and we're just going to put a pinch of the brown sugar in, so I'll do that for you.
Okay.
Just to sweeten up the pineapple sometimes. And if you want to mix all those things together,
Dressed in and go, huh? I need a.
oh, here you go, right here.
Oh,
On the
you got
magic
it right
of
there.
television, we have a
There
spoon.
you go.
It was just right there waiting for me.
Yeah, and this is cooking up real nice. Now, oh,
Good job.
Just trying to have a little fun in the kitchen, that's all.
I always wanted to make the blooper reel.
yeah. Well, I think
great.
Jimmy made that happen. So,
Do it slow-mo.
do you have to cook this a certain temperature, or is it like steak, or you can have it?
If you start with a high heat and just sear it, once I flip it, then I'll cut my heat back just to cook it a little slower. Ultimately, a cast iron pan is the perfect thing to do it in because it will hold that heat. It just works a little better with that.
Sure.
But you can still blacken it on anything.
Yeah.
So it's going to char a little bit and just take a little bit longer on that one. But
Yeah.
this is our finished product.
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing a great job there, Jimmy. And you got your cilantro. And then the last thing you have to do, right? This is my amazing trick. After years of cooking, my hands don't work as good as they used to, so by squeezing the lime and putting it between your tongs, it makes it a lot easier to
Look at you.
There you
squeeze
go.
the juice out of it.
That's
So it works
impressive.
really well.
Woo! Those spices are now.
It's coming down.
Whoa, I'm glad,
So then-
Jimmy. I'm glad you're not on this side.
We're just going to turn it, then we cut our heat back.
Okay.
You can cover it if you want a little bit, just to steam it a little faster.
Sure.
And
And our mushrooms that we cooked before, are they done?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And you were talking about, which I didn't know, that you want to quarter them so that they're a little more meatier.
They are.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
going to try one of those right there, because Jimmy's too busy working right
So,
now.
so out of respect to Lisa, I didn't put all the jalapeno in.
Sure, absolutely. I'm going to just finish with a little cilantro.
Okay.
And you're good to go on that. And this can sit for an hour, 2 hours, sometimes overnight.
Right.
If your pineapple is not as sweet as you want it, you can add a little pineapple juice to it. And that little pinch of brown sugar worked for this pineapple because it was just a little bit not
Yeah.
as sweet. So
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, we actually have a finished one over
Yes,
here.
absolutely.
We want to go ahead and try this one, Jimmy?
Well, I was just going to eat this bowl. I thought that was.
Oh, well, I mean, you can do that too. But since you did all the work, I'll let you have a first taste.
it's one of my favorite fish.
So is there a difference between mahi and mahi?
The dolphin aspect. Yes.
Is it two different fish, really?
Yeah. It is.
Oh.
They are. The dolphin is two different species.
I didn't know
So-
that.
I didn't know that either.
I thought I was being funny. Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, this one's good.
We're not cooking any dolphin on television.
No dolphin. That is fantastic.
Oh, that is
There's a little heat
good.
with the sweetness of the pineapple, I think.
I
works
gotta
really
try
well.
that. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's try your salsa. Oh, there's a jalapeno. That kicked in. All right. Bill's Prime Seafood and Steak. You're in Chincoteague. Can't miss you. Right there.
Right on Main Street.
Right on Main Street. Been there for 63 years. That's
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming in.
No, thank you. We appreciate
Cooking
it.
for us.
Had a great
Yeah.
time.